Hey everyone, I'm Dima. I'm super excited to share my thoughts on the new iPhone 17 Pro Max and my short experience using it for the last few weeks as my main smartphone. Let's go! Apple really shook things up with their Pro models this year, and also with the super slim iPhone Air. One thing I wasn't expecting from Apple is the switch back to aluminum so quickly after using titanium for the last 2 generations. But here we are, back to the same material Apple was using since forever. It looks industrial and it feels so comfortable in my hands. The rounded corners give it a totally unique feeling compared to the last few iPhones, which were a bit sharp. Especially iPhone 12, 13 and 14 Pro. And even though some people aren't fans of this design, I have to say it's a design I really like. Unfortunately now I have to be a bit more cautious with my iPhone. Mainly because aluminum is a softer material than titanium and it can get scratched way easier. This year I decided to go with the silver color. I did not want to get my iPhone scratched, especially seeing what is happening to the orange and blue colors. And surprisingly, I quite like this color. It reminds me of my old iPhone 6s Plus in a way. Too bad there is no black this year. I'm pretty certain that they will release a black iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max in a few months just to sell a few millions of extra iPhones. Well, the display is simply brilliant. I have no idea how come Apple is able to surpass themselves year after year. They claim that the new display is 1,000 nits brighter. I did not see such a big gap between my old 15 Pro Max and the new 17 Pro Max. Yes, it's brighter, but it's not such a crazy difference. Apparently it goes up to 3000 nits in the sunlight. All I can say is that, yes, this display is super bright for any kind of scenario. Colors are super beautiful and accurate. Viewing angles are simply perfect, without any color shift. And honestly, I'm just trying to nitpick something about this display, but I can't. This might be the best display in a smartphone. At this point, basically every major smartphone manufacturer has great processors inside, except. And it comes with no surprise that Apple has one of the best, if not the best, processors in the world. And iPhone 17 Pro Max with its A19 Pro is simply the most powerful smartphone I have ever used. I would say that my Galaxy S25 Ultra comes super close, but due to the fact that Apple has more control over its iOS and processors, they are able to create a unique experience with their hardware and software knowledge. So yes, I think it's a bit pointless to talk about power, because it's really fast. And one important thing, it also stays cold to the touch. I won't spend too much time talking about the camera specs. There are a bunch of reviews out there that dive deep into technicality of iPhone 17 Pro Max cameras. All I can say is that the camera is great for a smartphone, but once you start to compare it to a dedicated full-frame camera, iPhone doesn't have a chance. I also think that as a smartphone, iPhone still exceeds when it comes to video. I need to find a better video smartphone, but so far iPhone takes the crown. Don't get me wrong, I think Galaxy S25 Ultra takes great videos as well. But the iPhone 17 Pro Max is just slightly better. I might do a comparison between the two. Anyway, let me share with you some pictures and video I took for the last couple of weeks. The first few days I was using my phone, I did not get the best battery life. I guess it needed to learn my use patterns, update all the apps, and perhaps the background processings were involved in a pretty weak battery performance. But once I got situated, a few days of use increased my battery life drastically. I tend to use my phone a lot, and surprisingly, by the end of the day, I still get around 50% of the battery life, which I can say is excellent. I can only imagine what is going to happen when Apple will eventually implement silicon carbon type batteries in their smartphones. Can you imagine a 6,000 or even 7,000 mAh battery in an iPhone? That's crazy. iOS 26 received a lot of backlash from people, calling it outdated and ugly. I, for instance, think that with this design, Apple set their iPhones apart from the competition. As far as I know, in order to make this type of animation, it requires a lot of processing power. And since A19 Pro delivers such great performance, they were able to achieve such a beautiful effect and animation with their liquid design. There are a couple of things I need to get used to, but overall I can say that iOS 26 elevated the design and usability of Apple devices, made them look way more modern. I might sound like a fan, but I'll be transparent. I am indeed a huge fan of the new design. All in all, iPhone 17 Pro Max is a great device. It delivers a great experience in basically every aspect. I really like the design. This year the phone feels better in the hand. The industrial design is unusual and weird, which I quite like. I understand it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I really like it. The screen is fantastic as usual, probably the best out there. So even if I try to complain about something, I really can't. It's a great device that is going to make many folks happy. It's understandable that iPhones are not for everyone, and we live in a world where options are everywhere. And the variety of smartphones on the market is enough to make anyone happy. But for me personally, at the moment, that smartphone is iPhone 17 Pro Max. I find it reliable and easy to live with, especially in the United States. Anyway, I would very much appreciate if you guys would be able to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That perhaps would give me some exposure, which would eventually allow me to create more videos, content about these beautiful devices. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.